This message is for the young and for the old and for the young adult, okay? Because we may find ourselves in these situations anytime in life. Age does not immune us from being human. We are humans throughout our lifetime. So anybody can find themselves in this situation where you, as a young child, you may not have a mother or parents, or maybe you do have parents, but some parents give up their kids to adoption, so they might not be there for you. And then it may be that you might be so unlucky that just not only do you not have parents that are there for you, but you don't have people who are there for you. You may not have friends. You may not have family who help you, because why do we like family? Because it makes us feel belong, I think. There may be other reasons why people like to be among family. You need a place to call your home. That's not necessarily a place like a location like on a land, but that's a place among a group of human beings, because there are groups that are like tribal, that are nomads, you know but even though they are nomads, it's not like they're like, oh, I claim this territory, and they stay there when the rest of the tribe goes. They always move with the tribe. Those nomadic tribes, they move together. Like if we think of Coco Girl and Coco Boy, who are moving together before they separated, from one place to the other, because that is their place. That group is their place. So we may not necessarily, we might find ourselves excluded. Like me, I always talk about being excluded from the Haitian community because of my color, because I experienced colorism within the Haitian community, where they have shown preference for people of lighter skin, who may be in my condition, and they would help them, and it's just been that way, And in fact, the story that I'm about to tell you, the testimony that I'm about to tell you, I even find out, like in my neighborhood, there's this Haitian man who comes and does the lawn for others, and yet he would purposely like try to put me down when I cannot do my lawn, because not because I don't have the funds to do my lawn, but because people don't do me favors. I may have like one or two times, somebody might decide, okay, I'm gonna do your lawn, and then they just stop coming. Sometimes they do it once, and then they decide they're not gonna do my lawn anymore. And whether I have time or not, because at one point I did not work two jobs, I only work one job, and my one job is a teacher, so I get off of work at pretty early to get home to be able to make appointments for people to do my lawn. People just did not want to do my lawn, I just did not find that kind of favor in my community wherein I live. So it's always good to, of course, find yourself an avenue. And I think of Dimongo, like, her efforts to, they say, buy friendship, buy love, buy people. If she felt like she was not loved among her family, she felt like, even though I don't think, some people will say, like, how, like, some people will be ambivalent because of the fact that her brother helped her become so big, and her brother always used to promote her, and her brother did provide sometimes means of communication, but the way she talks is as if the means of communication that she found with her brother were the only times that we saw them together collabing, and there probably was no more communication. She talks about her sister being married a long time ago and not being there for her. I don't know if she is saying that for content, but the reality is there are some people out there who actually don't have so-called family who are there for them. I noticed, for example, my mother, she is a very when it comes to humans, she's very outgoing. She always has people coming and going in her house. She never has lack of people to do her favors. Whereas me, I'm like a desert when it comes to people doing. It was at one point when I first purchased my house that in order for me to be able to get somebody to mow my lawn, she would have to recommend it. I find it strange that, I couldn't find somebody on my own, and I'm much younger than this woman, because she is supposedly my mother's age, my mother per se, and she would always find people at whatever age, young and old, to be able to do my lawn. And it's interesting that I've been in my house for so long, and that I still struggle to find people who would with fidelity continue doing my lawn or doing maintenance for my property, and then I would pay them on a regular basis and feel comfortable, and because of course in the US people behave like strangers. So if somebody's doing you business and you're not the kind of person that they tolerate, um they're not gonna be friendly with you. It's like they're not gonna I remember like I have a cousin who's sort of like Redbone, and I had one of my colleagues, her husband came to do my pipes for me. Like I was changing the sprinkler system, the pipes in the sprinkler system, and my cousin was the one renting from me at the time. I wasn't living in the house, and the lady came to me at work, and she was a teacher like me. She was like, "Oh, this lady." She didn't know it was my cousin in the house. She was like, "Oh, this lady. My husband says he goes to the place and he works all day, and this lady doesn't even offer me food or cook for me or whatever." And I guess my cousin, she cooks all the time, and because she had like 3 kids, so she would cook for her kids. I guess she wasn't offering the guy food. And I'm like thinking to myself, yet if it were me, they probably would not even want to eat. The people are not that friendly to say they want to eat around. It was this Jamaican guy who came to do my lawn was like, sat down and actually ate breakfast with me. But it's not like these people like even wanna like associate with you as a human being, like as a fellow human being, and yet they felt like the need to associate with like my cousin, to the point where they felt like she had to feed them, things like that. Yeah, and then a long time ago, I had this guy who brought in a crew, and I fed the crew. But rarely do you have people who's gonna come in your house and is gonna say, okay, they're gonna sit down and eat with you or eat of your food. I guess maybe I don't cook like my cousin, because my cousin actually went to cooking school in Haiti, things like that. So anyway, and the worst, to even find people to actually do the work for you at home. So where am I coming from with this? Well, it's just that something happened today that was really amazing, where I've lived in my house for a long time, long time. I bought my house a long time ago. And my neighbor, yesterday in the morning, an hour ago in the morning yesterday, she came to me, and it was probably more than an hour ago. But nonetheless, maybe an hour ago. She came to me as I was leaving my driveway, and she told me, "Oh, I'm gonna clean my driveway. I'm having somebody pressure clean it, and I just wanted to let you know," because it was as if she did not sleep. She was just waiting for me all night long to come out, because she knows I leave home very early, and for some weird reason yesterday I woke up like ahead of time. I was out ahead of time, thinking that the time had changed or something, and I was out and about. So I saw the shadow of her, because she has a glass door. So I saw that as I got into my car, I saw her shadow, passing through her door, and I was thinking, oh, why was my neighbor up so early, and her light was on, and then and it was as if she was waiting for me, and I saw her waving from inside, and I'm like, I don't want this lady to think I'm looking at her door, while I'm in my car. So I hesitated to wave, but the reality is, I've never seen her out this early with her lights on, and seeing a shadow of her behind her door before. So she opened the door and waved again. So I waved. We usually wave to each other, hello, goodbye, and that's usually all we do as far as conversation is concerned. And then she said, wait, she was beckoning me to come. So I came out of my car, so she can talk. And I wasn't sure what she was gonna talk about. Usually, I guess we don't say much to each other, So, but nonetheless, I was wondering what she was gonna talk about. I had no idea, And she said she's having her driveway pressure washed, and she's going to pressure wash mine. I'm like, whoa, you don't have to. How much is it gonna cost? She's like, no, because our driveway, my driveway falls into her grass area, sort of. So she's like, since her sprinklers are always dirtying up my driveway, so she thought she would clean it up. I was like, that's so sweet, But nonetheless, I didn't think it was gonna be such a thorough job. I felt, okay, so I get it. She's gonna clean it because her sprinkler has the copper that sort of makes my driveway look copperish. So nonetheless, I came home last night. I guess I expected my driveway to be cleaner, but she did a complete driveway pressure clean, and she pressure cleaned the facade of my garage, which is the outside facade, because I lock my gates to avoid trespassing. So of course, she went as far as the entrance of the gate and pressure washed it. And I realized, I'm not the kind of person that people give gifts to, and then I remember Ayamara, of course, who gets all these gifts for people so that they can open YouTube channels, to help, so that he can help them. And yeah, sometimes I have that kind of reciprocity where maybe somebody wants to ask me something and, they do you that kind of favor. But that was just totally unpredicted. So I am so gracious and so grateful for that act of neighborly kindness, and I thought, I'm just gonna make a video, because I usually, something like this I would put in my Facebook open diary. But I think I've outgrown my Facebook open diary. In fact, since I started reacting on YouTube, I can say that I haven't been posting much on Facebook. I just found that YouTube just fulfilled so much more. On Facebook, I don't accept anybody on my Facebook page. It's just people I know. So it's my classmates from high school eons ago, and a few random people here and there. And since I don't have a big family for me of my own, so it's not even that many people that I have on Facebook. What shocked me on Facebook was that my classmates, who I don't remember having friends in high school, but my classmates turned out to be such great support on Facebook. So for the decade that I spent doing an open Facebook journal or diary, if you will, I really found a couple of them who stayed with fidelity. They would actually read my posts and give comments. One of them actually sent me a private email, because I started deciding that I'm not in it. I noticed Ayamara does that. But when I started my Facebook journal, I discovered something that I learned from a bit of abuse in the past, that I decided I'm gonna do Facebook to stop the abuse that I had in the past, is that people used to abuse me with private conversations. And the ways they created those private conversations, because I was not human enough for Haitian people for them to talk to me face to face, so they never would. So the way I got abused, particularly from what I would consider as racist Dominican/Haitians, the ones who were, it's almost like they were pulling my spirit to the Dominican Republic for their purpose and for their women, So they would give me phone calls. And the thing about the Dominican Republic, their excuse was blackout. And this is where I get the whole theory of blackouts, because that was, that's a way, using the term blackout is a way of telling you are black and we want you out. So it's a way of segregation, that Haitians were using in the Dominican Republic. Well, one particular Haitian in the Dominican Republic, and they were using it elsewhere. So anyway, so they used to do blackouts, like, they would call me because, of course, I'm a black woman. So these people and they accosted me. I don't want to approach people. I already know Haitian people don't like me. They're racist. I'm a dark-skinned woman, so I do not approach Haitian people. A lot of and the interesting thing about those people is that they approach through my quote-unquote mother, who was not even there for me. Since they're light-skinned, they're the ones who had privilege. They're the ones who had the friends and the family and things like that. So they approached me in order to harm me. through my mother. That was their access way. And then they started calling me, and I didn't have any phone numbers for them to ask to like, you want to be able to interact when people are harming you like that, so they would call me and maybe say something, and when I would question weird things that they would say, they would hang up the phone on me. And it's like I knew who they were, so their excuse to my so-called mother was that they had blackouts, in the Dominican Republic or things like that. And me, I had nobody. When I say I had nobody, and since my mother was, pushing me to help them. Oh, that's why you have no friends. It is because you're not kind. And why would they do that? Because, guys, the United States give opportunities to dark-skinned women or to people who are oppressed. Yes, there's racism in the United States, but there is also a lot of opportunity. They talk so much about the racism that we forget about the opportunities. So I never lacked work since I came to Florida. Since I finished school and came to Florida. In Florida, I was never unemployed. Maybe when I first moved here, I was unemployed for 5 months, and I enjoyed it. I love going to the beach. I was enjoying myself like Miss Trudy. But once I started working, man, I never became unemployed. Ever, ever, ever. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. And knock on wood. And of course, the last couple of years have been additional blessings where I'm double employed, so thank you, Jesus, so in that sense, I am blessed. So I may be a dark-skinned woman. I may not be like attracted to Haitian people may not be attracted to me or whatever, but God bless me. God never leaves me in want. God gave me a roof over my head. God gave me a beautiful car the last 2 years to drive. And I had chosen not to drive the last few years that I did not drive. It was my choice because it was one of the ways that I approached to fix my social problem was by driving, by using public transportation. So nonetheless, to go back on what I was saying, so they would use people like my mother, and asking. And the thing is, I was always the one to do them favor. They always needed a favor from me, and these people never did anything for me. Never did anything for me. So these were like selfish people who, like, if I needed something, I have to do all my things, and I've lived decades now I'm on my own, okay? So they would use blackout, hang up the phone. So they were using phone controls, to control me and control conversations. So I spent over a decade here in Miami. I never had anybody to talk to. So it's like they were controlling me because I didn't have people. I didn't have friends. It was just me, my job, and my job was not very friendly. It's now people are friendly now that I have 2 jobs, 2 careers, People are friendly at my jobs. And my second job, they're definitely friendly. They chose for me to be there, The first job, it was almost like, I don't know, it was like trying to get a job after college, which was hard. And I was grateful that I found a job because it wasn't that easy for me in my first career to get jobs, So nonetheless, I didn't have people to talk to, and they were using that means. So what I ended up doing was, and they would say things that were very abusive, and you couldn't prove that they said it in private. So they would use private conversation to do you harm, to say harmful things to you, and it was always a one-way conversation. I was never allowed to speak, so for me to be able to write on Facebook, that was my first means of speaking, of telling people how I felt for the day. As a dark-skinned woman, I was excluded from speaking, from telling people how I felt, from even interacting within a conversation that was started with me. So I started doing I didn't accept for private conversations. I did not accept people to email me because, they used to use email too. So I didn't accept for people to email me. And I remember when the one girl who emailed me telling me that I read your postings every day. I told her, I don't do private conversations. I mean, we weren't friends in high school, but I mean, she was very friendly, and she continued being very friendly, throughout all this time with me doing my Facebook open diaries. So when I discovered that YouTube is a more powerful tool, in the sense that again, people don't just private you like that on YouTube. I mean, I don't get people privating me. The only people that private me on YouTube is YouTube, telling me, you got such and such a message or such and such a comment. So I found commenting to be a very helpful tool in the past year that I've been doing the reactions with Ayamara. The YouTube comments are very powerful, and of course they wouldn't be powerful if they were exclusively coming from the US. It is amazing how powerful our the motherland Africa is, how powerful the mother people Africans are when it comes to breaking the barriers of communication. And this is what I found out by engaging myself in a primarily African community on YouTube. So nonetheless, this neighborly act of my neighbor, and she was there before I moved there. So when I moved, I already found her there. That was very, 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 very kind of her. So I thought I would do a video to express this awesome event that happened today, where somebody actually gave me this gift. I don't know when was the last time that somebody gave me a gift. I mean, like a true gift, like something that I really needed. Usually people think that they come up with things that they think you need and you don't really need them. But, she gave me the gift of service, because I don't have people servicing me that much. It's always very hard work for me to find somebody to service me, be it doing my lawn or definitely pressure clean my driveway. I can do my lawn by myself when I get time off of work, even though sometimes I'm not feeling well enough to do that. But to pressure clean my driveway, that's something that I can't do by myself. You would have to have somebody do it for you. So that was very kind, and I'm grateful. So this is what happens when you become an Ayamara reactor, guys. You get people giving you gifts. You get gifts. If you are one who doesn't get gifts, all of a sudden you get a gift. It's my 1 year anniversary. I'm still celebrating. I reached my 1 year in March, I believe in late March. I started reacting on Ayamara, and I am still celebrating my 1 year anniversary of reacting with fidelity, even though I don't post every day, but I've been posting every week, due to the reactions. So thank you guys for watching. I don't think a lot of people are going to watch this video, but if you did, you are the best. Like Ms. Modesta Lifestyle says, if you came this far, you are a friend indeed. Like I told you guys today about my neighbor indeed. My neighbor indeed. We've been neighbors for a long time. We don't really say anything but hi. But this was a true act of kindness. God bless. May your neighbors also bless you. Out of the blues. It's been a while. It took a while though. But I find neighborhood within my community. Thank you. Bye-bye.